Hello, folks. This is Paul Westcott, and this is a White House Brief special report only here on the White House Brief channel on iHeartRadio. And one of the things we are now learning at this hour is that gunman James J. Lee has gone into the Discovery Channel building in suburban Maryland, and we're going to be covering this on Thursday's show, I promise you, and on into the weekend. And you know what? Many of you are saying, Paul, this is not a big political story. What are you doing this for? Well, it is important. It is political. We're going to get into this just shortly here. I promise you tomorrow we are going to dive into this much, much deeper. What we've learned now about this gunman is he has gone into the Discovery Channel building with a list of demands. He has taken a small number of hostages. An exact number has not been established at this point. There are no results of injuries at any of these points, and the demands, it looks like, revolve around what is a left-wing extremist agenda. Okay, now many of you have said, or I've gotten some comments back saying, Paul, you can't just classify this person as a left-wing extremist. Well, if you take a look at some of his demands, they seem like in a left-wing extremist violent group that he's part of. All programs on Discovery Health TLC must stop encouraging the birth of any more parasitic human infants and the false heroics behind those actions. In those programs encouraging human sterilization and infertility must be pushed. All former pro-birth programs must now push in the direction of stopping human birth, not encouraging it. Now you say, okay, well, why are they calling it? Why are they saying this? Why would he be talking about this? Well, all programs promoting war and the technology behind those must cease. There is no sense in advertising weapons of mass destruction anymore. Instead, talk about those ways to disassemble civilization and concentrate to the message in finding solutions to solving global military mechanized conflict. Again, solutions instead of just, sorry, this is horrible writing here, I'm just going through it myself. Solutions to solving global military mechanized conflict. Solutions instead of just repeating the same old wars with newer weapons. Also keep out the fraudulent peace movements. They are liars and fakes. Civilization must be exposed for the filth it is. That and all it is disgusting religious, cultural roots and greed. Broadcast this message until the pollution in the planet is reversed and the human population goes down. Okay, so this is a man who obviously is deranged. And you know what? I am more than happy to say this guy is deranged, but I'm sorry. After being accused of months and years now of being part of, if you are against the mosque at Ground Zero, if you are part of the Tea Party movement, if you were against the health care bill, if you were against the stimulus, if you're against increasing the size of welfare or extending it for 99 weeks or 10 years or whatever it may be, whatever the Democrats in Congress may be, you have been accused at some point in time by either a national media or a national political figure as being somebody who is either racist or has malicious intentions. Chris Matthews did an entire documentary about this, talking about the connection between Rand Paul and the Tea Party and the anti-government whack jobs that are out there. Those are his words, the Michigan militia and others, and that's what he decides to focus on instead of focusing on the positive aspects of the movement. So right now, I'm going to focus my attention on the left wing. I'm going to focus my attention on this guy who I guess speaks for all of the left-wingers out there who believe in the green movement. All of a sudden, there's a connection, and you got to ask yourself, okay, well, how is MSNBC or how are any of the other mainstream outlets handling this? Take a listen to how MSNBC decides to describe this.
James J. Lee, but you're getting some more information as well.
We are. We're learning more about this person. Pete Williams is in D.C., and he's been following this, knows a lot about the suspect. And, Pete, as we hear more about the demands, as Tamron mentioned, his list of demands that are publicized on his website, he has a passion for what's taking place around the world globally.
A passion.
We know that the Discovery Corporation has the Discovery Channel, Animal Planet, TLC, also Planet Green. What more are we learning about him?
Okay, so there you go. Yeah, that seems about right. He has a passion for the world he lives in. That's the way you describe a guy who says we need to eliminate the human race and go back to a place with he should eliminate himself, taking people hostage. Like I said, we're going to have complete and continuing coverage of this on Thursday's White House Brief show. Now, I'm going to go to some of your comments. I wrote this on the White House Brief wall and quoting from a Washington Post piece, left-wing environmental terrorist takes hostages at Discovery Channel building in Maryland. Quote, a note posted on July 18th issues a list of demands to the Discovery Channel about airing shows that would promote curbing the planet's population growth, finding solutions for global warming, and dismantling the dangerous U.S. world economy. This sounds like a radical leftist. I think everyone, including Chris Matthews and others on MSNBC and across the mainstream media, said that, well, you know what, this is going to be, the next attack is going to be some crazy right-winger who wants to kill Obama for being black and wants to go after the U.S. government and end it like a Ted Kaczynski type guy and has been inspired by the Tea Party movement. It looks like just the opposite has happened. It looks like we now have a left-wing extremist who has gone out there. And by the way, no one in the mainstream media is calling him out for it. Now, what is everybody saying about this? Christian writing, they probably won't notice it. They probably will notice, but not air it. B. Hussein Abomination. I see the Washington press refuses to describe the man as a left-wing extremist. Jacqueline writing, this is number 5 on his so-called demands and sayings of Lee, and probably only the one the mainstream media will key and focus on, talking about the problems with immigration. So he does actually mention that in his report as well. You can read this full document, by the way, on our blog, allpoliticsradio.com. Let me see. Vivian Perez says, protesting this does not necessarily mean he is left-winged. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. He's a left-wing extremist. He happens to have left-wing views, and he happens to be an extremist because extremists, I mean, all in all, you have to see what this is what extremists do, I'm sorry to say. And then you go through here some of these other comments. Bill writing, clearly this guy just needs to get laid. Very nice. John writing, sounds like another one of those crazy teabaggers. Brent, they'll cover it up like the guy who killed the cabbie in NYC, who was also a left-winger. James writing, so far no mention of his political leanings, but they mention he's Asian and all minorities are Democrats anyway, so maybe they feel the reporting is, oh, come on, James. Oh, unbelievable. And John writing, these guys, eugenics crazies, and that's exactly what it is. It's eugenics. He believes that to control the population and to help the planet grow and to help the planet, we need to kill human life. So he values what the green movement claims is necessary to saving the planet, which, you know what, there are many, many green groups out there. The ELF, I believe it's the Earth Liberation Front, is one of those groups that claims that in order to truly save the planet, in their eyes, that there is no greater power than man. First of all, they don't believe in that. They don't believe in that there's anything bigger than man. They don't believe that the Earth is more powerful than man. They just believe that we are totally destroying this planet. Even our effect on it, though, even though our effect, and by many scientists' terms, is as minimal as you can ever imagine, they try to blow it up. They try to make this part of, a larger conspiracy and say that, well, now it looks like we need to rid the world of people in order to save the planet. And that's what this guy subscribed to. I see the connections. I think a lot of you see the connections, and I think we're going to see more connections in coming days. We're going to see exactly what this guy was up to, what he has in his manifesto. We're going to break it all down for you on Thursday's White House Brief with Paul Westcott. A lot more to talk about, so stay tuned to the White House Brief channel for complete and continuing coverage. I'm Paul Westcott. We'll see you later.